Oh man, how about that? I swear the sun just hits the right spot in the office to make sure that I look red and also glowing all at once. I'm immaculate. But what's up, everybody? This was the 2025 Brickyard 400. It it took a lot, right? Yeah, I know. Bright Jarrett, I get it. Um, I mean, I guess I could try and turn the sun off. Uh, we'll deal with it. Bubba Wallace gets the victory at Indianapolis. He has to go through 168 laps. He has 6 cautions for 28 laps, 2 overtimes, 3 hours, 22 minutes, 16 seconds, 15 lead changes, all of that. And Bubba Wallace holds off on the final restart. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Byron until he runs out of fuel. And I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, I'm blinded by the lights. Yeah. I'll just go further back like this. I'll be less bright. I'll just be red. Well-deserved win from Bubba Wallace. We'll talk all about that in a moment. We'll talk about TNT. We'll talk about the in-season tournament. We'll talk about tires, crashes, you name it. But first, how many days has it been since Bubba Wallace got a win? 0 days. I have to admit, that dude on Twitter, if he was just taking the piss and joking around, he seriously needs to do it's been 0 days, like on all of it, or 1 day or whatever, just to, like, if he's truly in it for the troll game, do it for that reason. Yeah, 0 days, 0, 0, 0, 0. And we'll read those super chats at the end in the super chat cooldown lap. But man, that was it was difficult to watch for a while. It was interesting to watch for a while, and there's gonna be discourse around it. We'll talk also about that crash involving Christopher Bell. We got the in-car view on that one will pop up, playoff standings. But first, I want to make sure that I don't forget y'all on this. Let's do it right now. And yeah, first ever open team to win a race. How about that? But first, I want to know what you think out of 10 of this race. I'm already seeing a lot of you. Luke in there. I love the profile pick. 7.23 out of 10. Let's see what you got. Spam what you got, and I'll just sort of hit whichever ones I can get. 8, 6.23, 7.5, 7.23. Geez, they're going. Geez Louise, y'all. NASCAR Shills Burner liked it. A lot of y'all are liking it. I have a feeling a lot of it is because, yeah, biased, but I totally get it. Totally get it. This is the first Bubba Wallace win I haven't attended in person. So that's interesting on my end. I was actually kind of holding a bit of pride to it. 2 out of 10. Totally get that one as well. 8.4, 6.9. Nice one, Riff. 6 saved by the finish like yesterday. 23 out of 10. DQ the 23. 0 out of 10. I know we're going to get a lot of those. 5 out of 10. Racing wasn't great. 11 out of 23. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 9 out of 10. There we go. I'm seeing a lot of them. What's the account? What's the account? I actually want to know, because like if they're actually like a good sport and just taking the piss for fun, like mad respect. Like mad respect on the trolling game, and mad respect of, like, you know, not doing it as a dick. You know, if not, like somebody's gotta send that my way. I just want to see. And if they were doing it because they hate Bubba Wallace, like, then they can suck on it. That's funny as hell too. Either way, I'm having a great ass time with it. But let's go through while, like, if y'all have it, tag me in it on Twitter, and I'll leave my notifications up, and then I'll be able to read it. But let's go through the finishing results of this race. Again, like I said, 168 laps. We had 2 overtime finishes, 6 cautions for 28 laps. 0.222 seconds is the margin of victory. 3 hours, 22 minutes, 16 seconds, the runtime, and 15 lead changes. Bubba Wallace gets the win in overtime. The fuel lasts. He gets that win over Kyle Larson Denny Hamlin in third, fourth, Ryan Preece, who can't catch a damn break. Then fifth is Keselowski, Gilliland, Blaney, Bell, Bowman, and Hocevar your top 10. Haley, Nemechek, Elliott, Buescher, Cindric, the top 15, Byron out of fuel 16th, top 17 finish, top 20 finish, 17th place finish for Catherine Legg today. Maybe a little luck, maybe some good strategy. Regardless, gets the victory. Chase Briscoe 18th, 19th Shane Van Gisbergen, and what was, in my opinion, so far this year, his best overall run at an oval. Then Cole Custer rounds out the top 20. Then you got Ty Gibbs winning the in-season tournament in 21st. The upset did not last all the way to the finish. The glass slipper broke right as the clock struck midnight for Dylan. We'll get to him in a moment. Barry, 22nd. Allmendinger, 1 lap down in 23rd. Same with Love in 24th. Kyle Busch, 2 down, 25th. 26th is Riley Herbst. 27th, Suarez, 3 down. And 28th, it was a valiant effort for Ty Dillon. 3 laps down, though. Got damage on one of the restarts. Never had the car. It was all, again, I had said it in the pre-race show today. My brain was telling me Ty Gibbs. My heart was wanting Ty Dillon. Unfortunately for that side of it, just didn't happen. And thank you to Cranky Croissant. Well done, good sir. Well done, good sir. The Splash and Go at 4 stickers, the one that's been leaving all the Bubba Wallace tweets. But Bubba Wallace hasn't won a cup race in 3 minutes. Well played, sir. Much respect on that. And thank you to Cranky Croissant on Twitter for the tag on that. Well played. Well played. As somebody who is chronically online, I give you credit. Great troll job. Great way to finish it off and redo it again. I enjoy it. And I just because of that, I don't think it was in as much mean spirit as many think. I just think it's really easy to troll people on Twitter. I retweeted it for anyone that wants to check it out. Who it was. Well played. That's all I have to say. Well played. And we had talked about it on NWP this week. Me, Eric, and Danny did that was probably the case, that they were just taking the piss. And now we totally have confirmation. It was just taking the piss. Getting back to the finishing order, out of the race in 29th is Tyler Reddick. Then 6 down for McDowell in 30th. Zane Smith out of the race in 31st. Logano out in 32nd. 15 laps down, 33rd for Noah Gragson. Balicki, 34th out of the race. 67 laps down. Had him right where he wanted him for the majority of the day. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 35th place finish. And everybody else is out from there. That would be Eric Jones in 36th, Cody Ware in 37th, Austin Dillon in 38th, and Ross Chastain, no difference today, 39th, dead last. You lose. Do not go past go. Do not collect $200. You loser. Big L. There are the results down at the bottom. I'll read you off also the playoff standings as we go. We now have 13 different winners. And of those 13 winners, it is Bubba Wallace that's added to it. Tyler Reddick, 14th plus 138. I believe there's 4 races to go in the regular season. So pretty comfortable, honestly. It would take just like an act of God to take him out. Bowman plus 63 in 15th. Buescher plus 42 in 16th. So again, Reddick 14th. 15th Bowman, 16th Buescher, 17th minus 42 Ryan Preece, 4th place finish. But unfortunately for him, he got a new winner. Can't do much about it. Everybody else is well and far away, too far back to catch up. We'll display those on the bottom in a moment. Let's talk about some of the big topics to start with. We got to, I know we've opened up the first 10 minutes with Bubba Wallace talk. But you got to talk about Bubba Wallace on this one. I will admit, I have been very critical of Bubba Wallace. It's not in mean spirit. It's just the way I treated just about every driver in that range, from Bowman to Buescher. Keselowski I've been critical of this year. Ty Gibbs. Like, to me, Bubba Wallace has just about everything he needs to have these runs a lot, to have winning runs, to have winning speed, to be up towards the front. And a lot of times early in the year, they did a great job at it. In all honesty, they had the best start to his career ever to this point, right? And, just as that season wound on, as I got to the middle of the season, they just couldn't keep it together. They couldn't. But I'll tell you what, man, when this team gets on it and they get on it towards the end of the year, they get on it. And they can have winning speed at a lot of these tracks. And we've seen it in the past where as the end of the summer comes in, they're really starting to perform and get better. With this next 4 weeks, man, I don't know. I don't know if I could take him at a road course, honestly. But without the pressure at Daytona, with how good Bubba Wallace is at super speedway racing, like to me, that just opens up a whole wide world of opportunity for him. Now I get it. If Reddick is somehow in that cut line, then yeah, whatever. But he could at that point be clinched in by points. I'd be very interested to see what Bubba Wallace can do with no pressure at Daytona. I would. I think we will see a Bubba in the next 4 weeks we've never seen before. We've never seen him not be on this cut line. If I'm not mistaken, both of those wins, yes, because I was at them, were during the playoffs. And I believe he wasn't in the playoffs for either of those years. So that's just a whole new world for that 23 team that's never happened before. And to me, the next 4 weeks are just improvement at this point. Just improve, get set up for those last 10. We've seen him run well at a lot of those tracks in the playoffs before. So what can you do from there, right? That's the big question. Because if he makes it to, if he can make it to the round of 12, he's shown the ability to be good at the Roval. He's shown the ability to be good at Kansas. And if he's able to perform enough with Dega in that last round, anything's possible. We're in the realm of the season where anything's possible, right? But I got to say, I was excited seeing him up there. I like seeing somebody else new win. I in the back of my head, and granted, this is probably also because I believe Danny picked him to as his win pick, and I didn't want to lose more points to everybody with my terrible picks. This week on NWP, which by the way is on Eric's channel this Wednesday night, so it should be a lot of fun. I have to admit, I was like, come on, man, don't get a Larson win. I don't want to see Hamlin win again. Come on, man, give me something new. And he got it. Good on him. Racing the best of the best up there, and he didn't flinch. That's improvement. That's the improvement I want to see out of Bubba Wallace. When there's a ton of pressure on, a lot of times he folds. It's the truth. It's the truth. There's been a lot of times where when the pressure's on him, he just cannot live up to it. And this is a really great step. Looking at some of the other stuff, the in-season challenge, tournament, you name it. There's like a damn different name. Everyone's calling it every damn week. I put a poll up, and it's still going. I believe we're around, just under 1,000 votes on it. And I asked y'all, should the in-season challenge return in 2026? There's been a lot of conversation around it. A lot of people have really talked about, what they're critical of it with. Some say there's no point at all. I asked y'all about it. 38%, even both ways, said yes or yes with some changes. And a lot of those are schedule changes, seating changes, things like that. Totally get it. Totally get it. 13% said, I don't care. Totally get that as well. Like, I had fun with it, but at the end of the day, it was not my main concern. And 11% of y'all said, no, we're going to let that keep on keeping on down there below. But I'll say I had fun with it. I do think a schedule change would probably make it better. I doubt TNT wants to go that direction. I definitely doubt that they want to get rid of Atlanta as that first one, because they can shake it up, because they can do, and they're showing, by the way, the win this streak snapped at Indianapolis, and Bubba's is 100. Casey Canes was 102. And then Newman 49, Harvick 38. Interesting stat. Wish they would have brought that up more during the broadcast. I'll say this. I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine also with the seating changes. Just make it the top 32 in points. We don't need to muddy it up. We just need to keep it simple. I don't see the harm in it. I don't. I've said this last couple weeks. I don't see the harm in it. Ty Gibbs gets the win in it. I know it's not the winner that everybody wanted. Okay, I'll admit it. The thumbnail curse hit again. Every time I have a driver as a thumbnail, something bad happens to him. But I still think we had great storylines out of it. I still think if you were interested in it and invested in it, it was a lot of fun. You had the 32 seed and Ty Dillon nearly upset everyone. Ty Gibbs with his worst race during it, but because of the problems that Ty Dillon had, he's able to get the win. Do I think we're going to have a 32 seed next year, no matter how that they string this out, go on and nearly win it again? No. If we do, I don't know, I'll sit in a Waffle House for 12 hours or 24 hours or something. Somebody clip that for next year if they bring it back. I don't see the issue with it. I had fun with it personally. I thought it was a great little side quest to talk about. And not much more, right? I feel like if people took it too seriously, then, that's on you. But I feel like for the people that hated it a ton and were like, this is ruining NASCAR, like, okay, we've had these kind of like things for money before. We talk about the no bull or halfway money. There's different challenges at local short tracks. Like, if of all the gimmicks that NASCAR's had in the last 25 years, this is the hill you're dying on. Like, that's my big question with it. Like, that's the hill you're dying on. Okay. Have fun with it. Like, people say I get caught up on stuff too much. Just saying, I think there's other things we can argue and complain about. Yes, Grandpa, I'm a millionaire. Actually, you're not. Grandpa gets your money. Yeah, it's like taking the kid's allowance. Yeah, hell, bring a freaking money gun. But I will admit there were points I thought TNT focused too much on it. Sure, you had the alt cast for that side of it, which, by the way, I don't know how many of y'all tuned into the alt cast at all. I tuned in and they brought Mark Martin on. And if you've been privy to the information this past week and the tea and the drama and whatever you want to call it of what SiriusXM and Danielle Trotta and Larry McReynolds were saying this past week and clearly alluding to Mark Martin. I know that they said it wasn't Mark Martin, right? I know they said it wasn't. But the response to Mark and then the backtracking that was clearly done in desperation, it was about Mark Martin. They had Mark on, and it was interesting hearing Mark and Burton go back and forth because I think that the two of them have a ton of chemistry, obviously being teammates and good friends for a long time. But it was awkward. It was really awkward. I loved it though. Yeah, I guess Mark wanted to talk to a crew chief that didn't have a championship. This is not, by the way, we're not going to get into a playoff debate and any of that. We have plenty of time to do that in the next weeks, months, and probably years, knowing NASCAR fans. But I just wanted to mention that for a moment. Talking on the TNT side of things, this concludes TNT's 5-race run. There was a lot of hype, I think, coming in. I feel like this is no, I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. No, I'm the millionaire. I'm the millionaire. But when it comes to TNT, I think it was kind of sketchy at first, terrible at Chicago. I think they kind of got their act together the last 3 weeks. I personally will say, even though they had the Z animation, which anyone that's watched Charlie the Unicorn before is absolutely going to get what I'm talking about. And props to Brock Beard for putting that meme out there again. I thought today's was the best broadcast. I thought today they had the most put together broadcast. I thought that the booth was sharper. I thought that those in the pits were. I think the sense of urgency of starting this race 10 minutes early did a huge service to the broadcast doing better. Was it great? No, but I would honestly say today was generally pretty good, personally. Maybe you disagree, but I want to know what you, yeah, and it's a magical Leopleurodon, Charlie. The magical Leopleurodon. He's going to take our way to, he's going to guide our way to Candy Mountain. I used to be able to do that voice before I hit puberty. But I want to know in the chat what y'all thought of TNT in this stint. I personally, I'll give them a C. I don't think they're as bad as Fox. I think that they're way, way better than Fox, but I also don't think they're better than anyone else so far. Oh my God, they took my kidney. D plus, C minus, C minus, for on-air talent, C minus. I'm trying to get everybody I can, but it updates pretty quick. Yeah, I would love Prime all season. I will say I really, really like the on-air talent that TNT has. I think their booth is great. I think, and yeah, maybe I'm spoiled by Prime. I will fully admit that's the case. A lot of people saying C minus to B minus, I've noticed. Z. Week 80, C minus. I just love the Z. Maybe I'll say this. Because I'm assuming Eric is recording out of the groove right now. For those of y'all that watch NWP, please, as soon as Eric brings up TNT, as soon as Eric brings up TNT on Wednesday night, everyone just spam Z in the chat when that comes up. Don't say anything at all. And they gave him an AEW belt for Ty Gibbs. I swear they're focusing more on Ty Gibbs than they are on the winner. Which again, change that for next year, right? Booth A, but like no context to Danny, no context to Eric. They're just gonna be like, why is everyone doing Z's in the chat? And I am not in the wrestling sphere. I'm not gonna get into the middle of that. Personally, I'll say this about the altcast. I really wasn't too crazy about it. I get what they're trying to go for. I think it can be edited to be better. Wasn't a big fan of it this time. I overall though, I want to talk about the race, right? Because there was the threat of weather in this, and we got it just barely at the end. But I give it to them at least starting 10 minutes early, even though they had some like dude who had the charisma of a block of cheese do the have the Grand Marshal be some dude named Keith with the charisma of a block of cheese instead of Cookie Monster, even though they said that Cookie Monster was. I know people were complaining about that and all, but I honestly thought it was cute. I thought it was just some nice thing to do. Maybe it's because I'm just thinking like in a couple years when I watch a race with my daughter, like and she sees Cookie Monster on screen, that's going to be awesome for her. I probably 5 years ago, I would have bitched and moaned about it, but it's honestly, it's a cute little thing. I like Cookie Monster. Cookie. Yes. Maybe that's it. Maybe if like whatever it was I said, it's either between that or, Elmo was supposed to do it, but got cut for some tweets. Don't ask Elmo what he thinks of other groups of people. Based on Elmo's tweets, he probably wouldn't be happy that Bubba Wallace won today. I love the cookies in there too. Oh man. And that's right. Yeah, Gonzo did the command for Auto Club. I'm cool with it, man. I think they actually Bubba Wallace was on Sesame Street, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't he on Sesame Street a few weeks ago? No, not. I'm just saying more that Elmo hates every other group of people other than I guess Elmo's. But wasn't he on Sesame Street a few? Yeah, okay, so he was, right? And then they recorded something pre-race. So like, how about that? That's pretty cool. Maybe next time he's on Sesame Street, he can bring the trophy from this race, and Cookie Monster is good luck. It's not a Mickey win, it's a Cookie Monster win. How about that? But no, I mean, I will say the race itself is totally what I expected of the next gen with the Brickyard. I think people gave it a pass last year because of the excitement of bringing the race back. The Brickyard returns, and there's the big hype around that. The crowd last year was pretty decent for modern, actually pretty good for modern NASCAR standards. I think it was roughly around the same, which again is probably around, when you, because you can't just count it from the grandstands. You have to bring up the point that Indianapolis is a freaking massive facility. I've been there in person. It's insane in person. But still a pretty decent crowd for modern NASCAR standards. I mean, that place holds 235,000 in the stands alone. A total can hold like 350,000. So that place looks empty with what was probably 75 to 70,000 today, maybe a little lower. It's still one of the highest. Like, the funny thing is that everyone's going to be bitching about the attendance today, right? Which I get it. It looks terrible, just like Bristol looks terrible when it's half full or a quarter full. But it's technically a really big crowd. But there's always people going to be complaining about it this week, right? And then they're going to turn around and rave about how great Iowa is, right? When Iowa's sold out, and I look at Iowa and all the stands that they set. Why don't we go into Iowa twice a year? Iowa, we'll get half, maybe a third of the crowd that Indianapolis got today. I'll say though, this is everything I expected out of this race. I expected passing to be difficult. I expected track position to be at a premium, dirty air to be the name of the game, a 5 to 6 tenths of a second buffer for the most part for the gap between cars up towards the front once they got all spread out. That's the Brickyard, and then it just sort of gets blown up like a nuke with the next gen car. I think a lot of people give it the pass because of the finish and the craziness at the end of the race. I personally thought the race in total was probably a 4 or 5 to me out of 10. I know a lot of you guys were probably giving it around that like 5 to 6 range, a lot of it. Totally get that. I totally get people giving it a 2. The racing itself, the opening 2 stages was pretty atrocious. There's no other way to put it. It was boring as hell for especially the first stage. The tire issues, I don't think that's like some major problem. I think it was largely focused around the same teams for the most part. You saw a lot of the Fords and especially the Penske cars having issues with that. I think Cindric had it while leading, which great run until it wasn't for Cindric. Joey Logano had it. And I think there were a couple others, of course. There was the crash with Ross Chastain. We'll talk about the Bell one. Trust me, we're going to get to it. I know people are going to bring that up after the Hill stuff yesterday. When it comes to the Chastain one, what it looked like is just more or less McDowell just got into him, not thinking he was going to be there. Based on the radio, and the difference between a McDowell or a Bell even, and I kind of get to that, is that I give them the benefit of the doubt because they don't do terrorist activities the way that Austin Hill so often does. I mean, the best way I can put it. I'm not going to go and roll into that whole thing again unless like you guys really want me to. But when it came to McDowell one, he pretty much said what they said on the broadcast, that he was not expecting Chastain to go down there, and it was just bad. It was bad timing. They're all saving fuel. That's the thing too. We had fuel saving for like the first 2 stages too. I don't think it's anything really more than that. Then McDowell, of course, has a tire problem after the case. I get that I'm, a McDowell fan, so that maybe I'm biased on that, but I would give him the benefit of the doubt here. I really don't think that he was just, wanting to go full, just moron on it. I'm with you. Increase the power, take away the downforce. I'm down for any change at this point for the racing, because let's be honest, if it wasn't Indianapolis, if this was a Pocono race, I have a feeling a lot more people would be really upset. By the way, the poll is up on my community tab for those who want to vote and leave your comments for NWP on Wednesday. But looking down at the stages here, Briscoe wins stage one. Bubba was up front. I mean, he started second, ran top 5 for much of the day. Strategy, I get, shuffled stuff around. But he ran second in stage one. Then Byron, Reddick, Bush, not Busher, Bush, Hocevar, Larson, Austin Dillon, and AJ Allmendinger. There's been, again, a lot of talk about the Childress cars, and we need to do something about it. Looking back, of course, there was the issue with Austin Dillon in 38th on that restart deal. That's classic Indianapolis. I mean, you can look back to the 2000s, the 90s. There's stack ups at Indianapolis restarts, regardless of rules. They've always happened. Kyle Busch finishing 25th. It's a rough day. It's a rough day. I mean, AJ Allmendinger with ECR power. It was not a good weekend overall for Mr. Childress. Looking towards the second stage, and that's again where that issue happened on the restart. Again, talking about the Fords, there was a flat for Cole Custer at a point. There was 3 was fast in qualifying. It just don't work out for them on race day. Let's see. Is it storming there at Indianapolis or here? Here, no. There's it's been raining off and on while it's sunny out, but no. Let's see. There's still people saying it was just luck. When it comes to Bubba, I'm assuming you mean. People are gonna say what they're gonna say, man. One of the things I would tell a lot of Bubba fans, both on the bad and the good end of his performance, is stop focusing so damn much on social media, right? Just stop. Twitter is not real. It has never been real. It never will be real. And the quicker that we can just say, okay, whatever about tweets, the better. We can have conversations. We have fun. Credit to that one dude just been taking the piss again. But I don't focus on Twitter, right? And like one of the things I enjoyed, I'll say this about Bubba's interview. And sorry if this is like just spur of the moment mind, all that. I'm just going off what y'all are talking about too. I liked how, they brought it up a little bit, and the Marty Snyder kind of poked the bear with it a little bit to bring up different stuff about social media. But in general, like, I thought that for the most part, it was a very mature interview. It was just talking about, I mean, he's winning at life. He has a beautiful family. Like, he has a great career going. Just won one of the biggest races in NASCAR. There's no reason to really bring up that crap. Like that's my big take on it. There was some other issues that happened as well through the stages. Again, within 6 laps was when Custer and Cindric had their issues with tires. You had Eric Jones, who they didn't, from what it looked like, tighten the right front, and just the wheel flew out from outside of the tire, and he smashed the wall. They restarted. Blaney wins stage 2 over Larson, Hamlin, Byron, Keselowski, Bowman, Hocevar, Joey, Busher, and Bubba. From there, to me, it was just the way that they've made the stages and the cautions and all that made it almost a dash to the finish. Almost. Like there's a little bit of strategy that was like sprinkled in there a little bit. And so there's the pitting and all of that. Blaney having to pit about a lap early before the pits opened because they weren't able to make it back around. Sounds like something that would happen to Ryan Blaney this year. He didn't DNF though. So, hang the banner on that one. But there would be the pitting early and often in the cycle. About 10, 12 laps in roughly was when that whole thing started up with about 44 to go. And then for the next like 5-10 laps. From there, though, Logano cycles out with the provisional lead with 39 laps left. It's looking like, honestly, if this thing ran green without anything happening, Joey Logano was probably going to win this race. But And here's where the bit of luck part does come in. But as I have said so often about so many drivers, whether it's Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson through the years, whether it's been Corey Hyman trucks, whether it's been Zilich, you name it. Yeah, sometimes you need a little bit of good luck to go your way. You need something to kind of help go your way. But you also have to be good enough to take advantage of that happening. And that's where the 23 and that team, with the strategy, with the car they had, they were able to take advantage. With 26 to go, Logano has a tire go down, like so many of the Fords do in this race. Bubba Wallace had been chasing him down. Let's not discount that part either. He could have, it would take a lot with how this car is, but could have passed him on the racetrack. Bubba Wallace was there to take advantage, and with 26 to go, had the provisional lead. There were a couple up there like Ryan Blaney, Catherine Legg, which again, credit to her. I know she's gotten a lot of shit this year. And to have this kind of finish and race in general is great for her, as well as a couple others. So I think it was with 18 to go, Bubba Wallace gets the lead. He's got about 5.5 seconds on Tyler Reddick until Kyle Larson gets by. And to his credit, I mean, yeah, he was getting slowly caught by Larson, but Larson, without that rain caution, would not have caught Bubba today. He wouldn't have. He was catching him by maybe 2 or 3 tenths a lap here and there, but then he would give a tenth back or something, or he'd only catch him by a tenth. He probably only would have been about 2, maybe second half, 2 seconds out. I don't think Kyle Larson catches him. But with 6 to go, we get rain in turn 1. It was rain. I saw some of y'all in the chat because TNT did a piss poor job, I will say, at showing it was raining at first. They just don't have the cameras there, man, to show this stuff. But I saw a lot of people immediately like, that was a quick caution. 2311 car is winning all of a sudden, and now there's a caution. No, man, no, it was raining. I knew people who were there. I asked them, if it was raining, and it was. And it was raining in turn 1, a little bit on pit road towards turn 1 and turn 2. They showed it then on the screen. I don't think it was a mass conspiracy by any means that to get 23-11 to lose, but we go to overtime from there after the red flag is lifted. And I gotta say, I think outside of Sonoma and Chicago, I think 3 of the 5 races for TNT got impacted by weather, like just terrible luck too. That probably didn't help either. But we go to overtime. Bubba takes the inside. Then he has Larson on the outside. But interestingly enough, William Byron is going for the win. And you know what? This is something I've noticed about Byron for a while. Ever since there was a line of 400 cars at Talladega a couple years ago with like 6 to go, and Byron basically just left his teammates out to try and go for the win. William Byron, when push comes to shove, I don't think will do the team orders. I don't think he will. I think that when push comes to shove, William Byron is out for one man, and that is William Byron. And he goes with Bubba Wallace, because if Bubba leaves the bottom open, William Byron is probably going to try and make that big 3-wide move to the bottom and go for the win. And I respect that. I respect the hell out of it. I'm so sick of team orders in NASCAR. I'm so sick of manufacturer orders and, give up your, chance to win so your teammate can. Like, man, screw that crap. Mad respect for making that move. Not once, but twice, because the first 2 rows were the same each time. Denny on the bottom as well. And he cleared out of 2. Larson gave him a really, really good race, but he clears out of 2. And then we get the big crash on the backstretch. And at this point, let's do a little show and tell here. We got the in-car for Christopher Bell, where it looked like on the first view, they really didn't show too many good views of it. It looked like almost at first like Bell got hit. And from there, he ended up like maybe just incidentally hitting the 38, I believe it was. But I gotta say, the in-car view is it might be a little different story. So you see him coming up on him here, and he just goes down the track. I mean, that's I'll tell you what, after the discussion we had yesterday, I totally get people like, wow, we need to like suspend Bell, or where's the talk about that? I'm already seeing it in there. So we're gonna end that poll with like well over 1,000. And I'm just gonna ask a simple question: was Bell's move on the 38 intentional? And just yes or no. Let me know. Let me know what you think in the chat. We'll show it again. Just to make sure we are completely sure on this, what we're all thinking. So this is Bell's in-car camera. 38's right there, goes a little low. You see Bell go down and just hooks him into the wall. I'll say personally, I want to know a little more in depth. I want NASCAR to look at this harder. But the reason, again, I'm not going to jump on Bell right off the bat is Bell can make some really dumb moves out there. He's very similar to Kyle Larson with that. And I think this is very borderline at best. But I give Bell more of the benefit of the doubt than I would Hill. I will say, though, I mean, again, we can keep playing. This looks horrible. I mean, this looks like he just hooked him. If it was a late move, it was way too damn late. If there was something before this, and because again, there's really no push on it on the broadcast to like show. Plus, they didn't have good angles of it. If there was something before this with the 38 and the 20, there needs to be a huge look at it. There might need to be that suspension and penalty. And I agree. If it's intentional, that is really stupid. And if it's not, I almost think it is more stupid. On the Zane Smith onboard, he said he got hooked. I mean, it's a hook. I mean, whether it's intentional or not, it's a hook. I totally get it. And I can see, I mean, damn, it is 50-50 in the chat right now with your votes. I mean, the thing is, I want to see what happened before it. I want to see like the SMT that they can put out there with it. And I know Bozy would probably have to like translate it to me and to everyone else on Twitter because I'm SMT illiterate on a lot of issues. I want to see, because in all honesty, like, that looks horrible. That looks really, really horrible. And after the huge discussion we had yesterday, it would be a disservice in any way to just sort of brush it off and be like, like I said, I give Bell the benefit of the doubt that, okay, I want to see here. And as I say, it's uncharacteristic, I think, for him to do it on purpose. If it's a dumb move, yeah. I mean, it's a dumb move. But I just... You can't skirt over that after the whole shebang and discussion we had yesterday. Because again, I'll put it up here. I mean, it looks pretty bad. I mean, I know I've replayed it over and over again, but it's just like, I guess it's for emphasis. Emphasis. Didn't look good, man. Didn't look good. I'm very interested to see. If there's, and I'll leave my notifications on Twitter again. If there is radio of the 20, or if there is something to add to it, definitely tag me. I want to see. I really do. I want to see. There you go. Yeah, I knew somebody would get it. Emphasis. Yeah, it's ugly. No other way to put it. And I don't care who it is. Even if I would give him more the benefit of the doubt, like we need to hear the radio communication. I would lean towards, just because I don't see Bell as that kind of driver, and maybe I'm mistaken. I would totally see it as misjudgment. Remember a couple years ago, I think it was Kyle Busch about 5 years ago did the same thing to Chase Elliott. And he made it a huge point. Like, it was not intentional. It was a stupid move. And they talked it out like men. Over Bell's radio. Pop is proud of you. Oh, man. Y'all are great, man. Y'all are great. And then emphasis, even if it's not spelled right. Emphasis. I'm glad so many people get those references still. But that's going to be a discussion through the week. I'm very interested to see. I'm surprised. The post-race show focused so damn long on the damn in-season tournament. Why haven't we focused a little more on that? Even if it's a nothing burger, I would like to know it's a nothing burger because it's spherical. Spherical. At least I don't sweat like him in that one episode. Yeah, I mean that's probably was a push gone bad. Is probably a really bad push attempt or a really bad way to try and cut down to get past him or anything like that. But I want to be sure, right? Because that caused a big crash, big hits. Don't like it. Don't like the way that ended up. But anyway, we get to the second overtime when Bubba he's basically cleared out of one at this point. Great restarts. And again, great under pressure. There's not much more I could ask for. Like I said, I've been very critical of Bubba Wallace. I think rightfully so. I think fairly as well. I know a lot of Bubba fans don't think I've been fair to him, but I would say I have been. But this is what I've been asking for out of him. I want to see him rise to the occasion. I want to see him, raise his ability against the best of the best. And looking at this restart, looking who got behind him, I would say that Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Denny Hamlin are some of the best of the best. They are. Like nowadays, they are the best of the best. Hamlin has 4 wins, 3 wins for Larson, 1 so far for Byron, sure, but he has been, he's been up towards the front for the last couple of years. He's been one of, if not the best in the next gen era. Those are the guys you need to beat to compete in this sport. And yeah, I mean, definitely showed why he belongs in the sport. Again, do I think he will have it? Well, I take back what I said that I think he'll ever be a consistently top 10 guy and competing, week in and week out for races. No, I will not take that back. One win does not, one win in the last, I don't know, I should check that account, however many days, does not wipe that completely away. But does it, at least to me, make me a little more hopeful that there's improvement and this team can get better? Hell yeah, totally. And Cookie Monster even congratulated him. How about that? Why the hell did they just have some blank, jar of paint do the command when they were saying that Cookie Monster was going to? I know he did like the drivers to your cars, and that's awesome too, but they didn't show it on TV. I wanted to see Cookie Monster, damn it. But yeah, Bubble Wallace gets the win. A lot of stuff to talk about from this. And overall, well, the racing, in my opinion, wasn't all that great. A lot of fun topics and fun things to talk about from it all. So, you know what? Oh, sorry. My wife just sent me a picture of my kid. That's cute. We agreed not to show her online just because, respect her privacy, but still, I have to ooh and ah as much as I can. Let's see. Yeah, hey, I'd be down with the Cookie Monster 400. That'd be badass, man. Presented by Chips Ahoy. We could do the whole damn shebang on it. But hey, man, yeah, respect the Bergs, the Icebergs. The little Ice Cube is doing good. She's doing good, doing all the things a baby should be doing. Let's see. I love the JD Vance memes. Like I love all the different memes of it. That's what I will admit. Like, I want to read your comment, but that was the biggest reason why is your profile pic. If you have a good profile picture, I will at some point see it and make sure it's displayed for everybody. The racing was mid, but the rain delay and overtime was stressful as hell, and I loved it. Yeah, I mean, the ending of this race to me was the best part, and I think that's what you'd want, at least. In my opinion, one of my big things of the difference between a race being like a 4 to 6 out of 10 and like a 3 on down is like the 3 on down races. I felt like I wasted my afternoon or night. I did not feel like I wasted my afternoon or night because to me, it got more fun the later it got. Let's see. Let's do the super chat cooldown lap here. And then I got to make sure, because a lot of y'all left a lot of these when I was about to go live, and I want to make sure I get all of you guys on stream. So I think there's a lot of them here. All right. So We'll start off here with Bobby Blair, who said, regardless of what the outcome was, that was a hell of a run by Bubba. Drove his ass off, career-defining moment right there. Yeah, I mean, if we see a big change in his performance, or at least gradually, you can point to this race. Stephen Gibson for the 2 says, what a FU to NASCAR. Go Bubba, finally won. Yeah, after this week with the whole charter thing, totally. And I guarantee that's probably why Steve Phelps was there to present Ty Gibbs with the winning everything for the in-season tournament rather than be there in victory lane and everything. Just like with the regular season championship last year. And Martin Fan for Life at the 5 says, can we all now please admit Bubba can drive and he earned it? No BS, just drove his wheels off. Yeah, pretty much said that. Let's see, Packer Fan 10 or Pack Fan 10. Pack Fan 10 is what it says. For the 5 says, feels like Elliott's win was more luck than skill. Maybe we are the 4th Hendrick driver. Give it a minute, give it a bit, because he's been pretty decent at some of the other tracks outside of that win. Snappy for the 5 says, Bubba with a long ass Bubba. Let's effing go, baby. Woo. Not gonna scream too loud. Good God, that scam sponsor car is ugly. It is ugly. I mean, that car ain't ugly. That's fugly. But it's a winner. And that's what matters. Also, Grandpa, I finally won something. Yeah, dude, I know that he probably wanted Ty Dillon to win like the rest of us, but Michael Mertz is going to have a great week when it comes to his shorts about Ty Gibbs. Cameron Johnson here saying, so happy for Bubba, and it's great to see him return to the playoffs. Also, 23-11 finally has a win in 2025. Hopefully Reddick gets his soon. And Never Was Cool with 5 saying 100 races of frustration, 100 races of trying. Bubba Wallace kisses the bricks and a bunch of bricks in 23. One could say that the 23 team is bricked up. I will see myself out now. Yeah, the grandpas are going to be all over the chats this week. Let's see. GN NASCAR fan says, easily the win of Bubba's career. The late caution for rain, low on fuel, nailed 2 restarts in a row. Even if you hate him, he drove his wheels off. Yeah, I'm right with there with you. I mean, everything, the fuel, I didn't even get to the fuel saving part of it. That is, a huge, pretty much all driver at that point. It's not a huge factor. It's pretty much all driver. In there, maybe the crew chief gets you the barking orders on how to do it, but should get Michael on the podcast again soon. No, we'll get him by the end of the year. We'll get him back by the end of the year. You don't have to worry about that at all. Most Bubba haters I see hate him for a thing NASCAR caused in 2020. NASCAR ruined his life to an extent and put Bubba in a really bad spot to this day. Yeah. They wanted clout points and social media points and all of that back in 2020, and it blew up in their faces. SW for the 10 here saying, the moment Logano got a tire flat, I smiled so hard, but the moment overtimes came, my smile faded. Finally, the moment Bubba won, I cheered. Finally, a Bubba W. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Great win. I mean, it's a great win for him. Say what you want about the guy. It's great. It's a great damn win, and a win at Indianapolis never goes away. Just ask Paul Menard. The name of Paul Menard was invoked today. Get hard for Menard, man. Let's see. Big shout out to Bubba for the W. This from Steve-O. This from a big time Larson fan. 5 out of 10 race. Disappointed TNT didn't play any Ozzy. Yeah, I know. I made that prediction, and now I got it wrong. NASCAR was itching to switch over to Ty Gibbs. What a joke. I think a lot of that's TNT pushing that damn tournament. That's my biggest critique of the whole thing is that you have the alt cast for a reason, and TNT kept taking away from actual race coverage to talk about the tournament. And, it's fun and all, but guys, there's a race going on. Max here. So 6.5 out of 10. Hate the fact the guy I've despised for 5 years won today. So that really sucks. Hopefully Bubba gets DQ'd and Larson still wins. Hey, man. You win some, you lose some. Let's see. Justin Drake says, finally, Bubba legit won a race in his 23. Took 5 years, but here we are. I'm not a fan, but good for him. And good for NASCAR, not doing the predictable and handing Bubba the win again because of rain. I think if anything, NASCAR would do everything they could to make sure a 2311 car didn't win. You know, which Bobby Blair brings up. Bubba and the 2311 team winning is such a middle finger to NASCAR, and I love it. Sly Supersonic with a 580 saying, the legendary Toyota Camry fuel mileage, FYI, street version gets 50 miles a gallon. Damn. I wonder, I could probably make it from Middle Tennessee up to Wisconsin Devils on one tank. Don't know what the track version gets, but it got enough apparently. 6 out of 10. Hey, Cody, how's it going? I'm glad Bubba focused his attention on thanking those who supported him rather than the haters like he has in the past, even when Marty tried baiting him. I will say that I agree. And like I said, Marty baited him. He talked a little bit and he brought up the meme. But yeah, why after he's won this race, like why bring that stuff up, dude? It's just people in NASCAR media trying to poke the bear a little bit, trying to get a quote to put out there. He's better than that. He's better than that. I was not a fan of trying to bait Bubba, and I'm glad that Bubba had a mature response to it and didn't act, like a kid would on it. Like that's the best response he could have given to the whole thing. The whole question, all of that. I'm sorry. I don't like, well, I guess, okay. Ozzy played pre-race. I don't know if that counts though. But yeah, that I don't like trying to bait people into talking to haters if they don't want to, right? Like I said, just ignore them. It turn off the phone. Like, don't ask the question. That was probably the little thing that irked me. I love all the bats in there. The blooded Prince of Darkness. Where's my bubbles? Let's see. Justin Drake with the 10 saying Barry had to learn to restart and Ty Dillon had nowhere to go. Sucks the in-season challenge was decided on an oops. That's Indianapolis, though. That happens so much at Indy. And to be honest, let's be real. Ty Dillon probably wasn't going to beat Ty Gibbs. Maybe they call it differently going for the million and all that, but he probably wasn't as much as I wanted him to. I so wanted him to. Let's see. Steve saying, Bubba, we've been waiting 100 races for this as 23 fans. I love how he's matured and gutted things out. It's been a long road for him. Yeah, I mean, you're echoing the words I was saying too. I think he has matured a lot. And I think his interview, I think having a kid has definitely changed that outlook and perspective on what's really important to be focusing on. And in my opinion, especially earlier in the year, that whole change to his life, I think made a huge impact, and it could make a huge impact the rest of the season at this point. Riff for the 10 says, only half joking about the 6.9 out of 10 would have been a 7, but I hate overtime. I get you. Plus, nice. Hope they investigate Bell's right hook. If I'm a Toyota rep, I'm lighting his phone up like Las Vegas right now. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Even if it wasn't intentional, even if there's nothing radio-wise, I want to make sure that it wasn't. I give him the benefit of the doubt to give him an investigation rather than plus I don't think we saw any white gloves than with Austin Hill, who we kind of all knew was just losing his temper. Alex at the 2 here saying Reddick really screwed himself going to pit road. Yep, but you win some calls, you lose some calls. Can the chat still pick TNT to suck while on NBC? Let's say no. Let's not overplay that meme. We don't want to run it to the ground. I've run stuff into the ground before too. Mr. Bad Guy says, I liked the race. Racing wasn't the best, but it had a lot to keep you on the screen. I'll say the strategy side of it towards the end did. And it did pick up a little bit in stage 2. You can tell there's a lot of people too who came into NASCAR when the Brickyard wasn't being run, and it's very telling. You can very much tell by those who are just watching their first or second Brickyard race of being like, man, this, and this. Like, no. Like, and the next gen makes it worse. I get it, but no. Beast of Metal here says, if you think Hill should be suspended, you think Bell should be suspended longer. He wrecked Gilliland on purpose, but without a clear provocation. That's like, I would give him more of the benefit of the doubt than Hill. If they do find that it wasn't on purpose, if there's any evidence of it being on purpose, then yeah, 100% suspend him. I'd say a race just because he doesn't have the history, and they do take that into account. Let's see. Eric here saying Bubba had his 2 tires set and saved more fuel. That was a big strategy move, big brain move. If the rain doesn't happen, if the rain doesn't happen, he scoots on to an easy victory. And if there's any doubt of fuel, even to that point, it'd be fine. And yes, it was Smith, not Gilliland. JJTN52 saying, I'm still trying to figure out what strategy Blaney is on, but I guess it worked. To a degree. I mean, 7th. I better put the finishing order back on so I can actually see it. We'll just keep switching back and forth. Let's see. Brandon saying, honest prediction, but when will Kyle Busch break that winless streak? Would love to see him when sad RCR is wasting his final few years. Man, when you're at RCR, there is no guarantee you're going to get a win. The last win could have happened a while ago. The winless streak could go through the end of his career. I mean, look at the end of Jimmy Johnson's career. Did anyone actually think when Jimmy won his last race, it was his last race? I don't think so. And I wouldn't think when Dale Jr. won his last race, it was his last win. I don't think so. I think a lot of people probably thought when Jeff Gordon won his last race, it was his last one, though. But, then same with like Tony Stewart. But no, I mean, it could be his last one. If there's anywhere I could think he would, probably Daytona. Super Speedways, RCR still has some pride with those. And maybe they'd be able to hook something up pretty good. Chris for the 2 says Hill to Bell. Camera caught your hands too, huh? Oh, man. Corvette Racing for the 10 here saying, I like the tournament and I hope it stays. Just 2 changes are needed. Don't start at a super speedway. Fair. And the driver should be getting the money, not the owner. I think that they give it to the owner who disperses it. Like the team gets a cut, the crew gets a cut, and then the driver gets a cut. Similar to the way that they do that with winnings in any other race, in the All-Star race. Like the winner of the All-Star race doesn't get the full $1 million. The team does. The driver gets like the lion's share of it, though. I just wish they would be a little more upfront about it, Let's see. Dan Miller for the 5 saying, congrats to Bubba. Glad he didn't lose it to the weather. That being said, the post-race ass kissing is unreal. I think we all know why. To be fair, any driver for the most part, you're going to have an ass kissing. So let's be fair on that too. Bite Speed says Bubba Wallace hasn't won a race in 0 days. True. Like the guy, 3 minutes. He was on it like 3 minutes. Oh, man. Alex the Animator says, hey, Denny's now won every crown jewel. Just not all of them as a driver. Hey, they were talking about that storyline. Fair enough. Let's see. Kevin here for the 5 says, the in-season challenge is, in my mind, the worst moment of NASCAR's 2025 Cup Series season. I dare anyone to prove me wrong. Again, I don't see the issue. Right? I don't see that big issue with it. I can't think off the top of my head, but there's been some pretty bad moments this year. Some pretty bad races. Bristol, like the entire Bristol race, I think was way worse than the in-season challenge. Justin Elmo. Hi, Rocco. God. I've seen those memes and they're so damn funny. Like the compilations. Let's see. Jason here says, why can't Hendrick get their strategy right? Byron should have pushed Larson past Wallace, but no, chose the bottom. Bowman is the only one that pushes. Well, that's the thing, man. Go for the win. I get that sometimes you won't get it, but sometimes you make the bonsai move and you do get it. And Larson too had his opportunity. He did get a nose ahead on that first restart, and just couldn't get it done. I know it's next gen. I know it's Indianapolis. I know there's all of that, but I don't want to see people constantly doing team orders and constantly pushing teammates to wins at their own detriment. If they both lose, you know what? At least they both went for the win. Plus, Barry gave a pretty damn good push to Larson both times too. Michael, thank you for the 99 cent. No comment, but I still appreciate it. I appreciate every comment, paid or not. Does not matter either way to me. I love all of y'all. Zion Harris, as a Brad fan, I think today sealed the playoffs. Yeah, it's Daytona or bust at this point, because I don't trust him at a road course. And honestly, there's so many people that are going to be better at short tracks. I don't trust him. Riff, Bubba beat your favorite driver. He did. Let's see. 4KJ, don't forget Bubba finished third in this race in the 43 pre-next gen era. He did that. Yeah, and he got a top 5 last year in this race. A ton of laps. So Indianapolis is a good track for Bubba Wallace at this point. Jason with the 3 saying Bowman should have 2 more wins without team orders. Yeah, I'm totally can make that argument, man. Let's see. Movement. Bell was clear on his screen. No, man, it was just net code, bro. It's just net code. Oh man, if I got paid $1 for the amount of times I or somebody I was playing a video game with said that, I'd be a rich man. I'd be a very rich man. I'd own a yacht. Carl Singleton saying, I can't believe this question can be asked, but does Michael Jordan deserve to be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame? No. He's got to do a lot more. I don't know what the argument would be. I mean, if you want to be completely honest, just off the ownership argument, I would say you could, people aren't going to like this. You could make way more of a argument for Teresa Earnhardt in the Hall of Fame than you could for Michael Jordan in NASCAR. Maybe one day, maybe he wins championships and tons of races. Sure. But right now, no. Steve-O saying Steve Phelps is reminding me of Roger Goodell after Tom Brady won the Super Bowl during Deflategate. Yeah, NASCAR leaders do that. I'm not making an argument for her. I'm just saying you could make more than you could for Michael Jordan at this rate. Give it time. Let's see. Mick Gresham says Bell got on the radio to ask his spotter to apologize to the 38 spotter on his behalf. Seemed to me like he didn't mean to, but I'm a Bell fan. I appreciate that you're able to at least say, hey, there might be a little push on me, but I don't think anyone has a reason to lie about that. But on the other end of it, yeah, I don't think it was intentional. I'd still want them to investigate it though, just to make sure everything is. And I'm assuming there's probably not going to be a penalty this week. I really, kind of with Duke Crowning. Bell is a chill guy. I think this one's for everyone. Marky Mark, y'all ready for NBC? Let me know. Y for yes, N for no. Are you ready for NBC to be back? Guys, I hope y'all realize we have 14 weeks left of the year. And then we're done with NASCAR for the season. Like, y'all realize that? We got 14 races left, 14 weekends left. And I'm seeing the majority, yes, on this. We're going to end the poll. It's just kind of crazy. I mean, yeah. The NBC covers 14 races. We got 4 races to the playoffs and 10 playoff races. 14 races left. Trust me, NWP will be a lot of fun. We'll have some updates, by the way, this week on NWP 400 stuff for those who enjoy our annual iRace that we do. Just tune in on Eric's channel Wednesday night. Subscribe to this one for all the post-race stuff too. Whether it's after a Fox, a Prime, a TNT, NBC, CW race, doesn't matter. we'll be live for every series after every race, all 97 of them, as long as like a tornado doesn't hit. It's like the only time we had to go off early this year was a tornado was hitting literally right near my house. And we've moved since then. So knock on wood that that doesn't happen again. Let's see. Connor Moore says, whoever is preying on the 24's downfall, please stop. It's working. Yeah, I mean, it's a little slump, but I think he'll get it together. He's always at his best starting up around this time and getting better. Yeah, I ran out of fuel, but that happens. You know, that doesn't change the fact that he was running up front in this race. And I still think he has a win or two left this year. I'm not worried. Let's see. Steve-O. Last one, a 2311 championship would be a big FU. Yeah, it would. Part of me really it would be Reddick that would probably do it. Let's be honest. I would so want that. I would love the visual of Steve Phelps handing the championship trophy and the owner's trophy to Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan at a point. Marky Mark, should the in-season challenge award points too? No. I am all good with that not awarding points. No. I think it should be outside of the realm of the championship, personally. Regardless of what you think of the system, to me, keep it outside of that. Bobby Blair with the 10 here saying the fall of RCR is sad. Felt like they were building something early on in the next gen era. It's not even on the drivers at this point, including Austin Dillon. No, I think it's the guys up top. It's Richard Childress, and it's those around Richard that enable all of these things. Bring back the Iceberg Sirens. Not going to happen. And yes, Catherine Legg, P17. Good for her, man. Like, after all the shit that she got early in the year, I will admit some of it I think was warranted. Not the bad stuff, but just like the criticism. I'm happy to see her doing well. My leg. All right, y'all. That is going to do it. That is going to do it tonight. We will be live again this Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Eric's channel, Eric Estep's channel, when it comes to NWP, and then we'll have videos through the week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Really quick, I want to make sure I put it in the chat. Let's have a fun raid, and be sure to stay for his coverage too. Y'all want to go over and show Brock Beard some love. Guy is a pioneer of NASCAR coverage on YouTube. Let's be honest, a lot of us would not be probably as interested in the sport without his videos. Guy is one of the best. I'll put the link to his stream in the chat right here. Go send love to Brock, and watch, and don't just stay for like 2 minutes either. Like, watch his stream. Dude is such a great guy. And I absolutely love everything that he does for the sport. So I will see you guys this week. Enjoy your Sunday night. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you all week, and this weekend too. Go over and give him some love, and have a great night. Later, y'all.